Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys. And to our special advisory committee, which can be found at www.scbrtalk.com/advisory committee. Go look them up and see the fabulous leaders doing the work in our Southern California region. Today, I have the distinct honor to introduce Jennifer Oglesby with a master's in education. She is an esteemed figure in the field of developmental care, a dedicated champion of individuals with disabilities, and a beacon of hope for our community. With an impressive legacy spanning over 22 years, Jennifer has dedicated her career to servicing individuals with disabilities, creating specialized residential facilities for those with developmental disabilities, and spearheading the development of specialized facilities for individuals struggling with substance abuse. Jennifer's academic achievements exemplify her commitment to excellence. She holds a Master of Arts in Education from Loyola Marymount University and a Bachelor of Arts in Behavioral Science from Mount St. Mary's University. Committed to expanding her knowledge and capabilities, she will soon earn the esteemed distinction of becoming a Board-Certified Behavior Analyst, allowing her to develop tailored programs and address the unique needs of individuals, including those with autism. Jennifer's journey into this field of compassion was profoundly influenced by personal experience. Her son Bryce's diagnosis with autism at the age of 6 served as a catalyst for her unwavering dedication to changing the trajectory of other families facing similar challenges. Her passion for helping the community extends beyond her professional role as she generously offers free consultations, guiding families through the intricacies of special education and serving as a trusted resource for all. Thank you so much for being with us today, Jennifer.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. So as you know, the first question I ask all of my guests is to please talk a bit about what inspired you to create adult residential facilities and how has that initial inspiration evolved over time?
Okay, I would love to. So my inspiration for developing adult residential facilities all started with my now 19-year-old son, Bryce. So you'll hear Bryce's name a lot throughout the interview today. But when Bryce was 6 years old, he was diagnosed with autism. And at that time, when he was diagnosed, there wasn't a ton of information. It was out there, but a lot of families still didn't know what to do. So when Bryce was diagnosed, he was diagnosed with Asperger's, and regional centers sort of said, here you go, he has a diagnosis, but we can't offer the extended services because it was Asperger's, which was a higher functioning form of autism. And I'll just never forget that day. My husband and I, we sat in the car, we had our son, we had our evaluation from the psychologist, and we had to go figure it out. So from there, I just started through basic trial and error, and I was out trying to figure out what I could do. So I bumped my head a couple of times, but being a parent of a child with a disability, I kept going. I kept trying to find the right resources. And along the way, I was fortunate to run into the world of ABA, which is Applied Behavioral Analysis, and it helped Bryce tremendously. It helped him with his life skills, with his personal skills. And from there, we were able to kind of get through. So that was the beginning point of it. And now that we fast forward, he's 19. So we were able to get him through his elementary years, middle school, high school. And now as an adult, we realize, what are we going to do now? What is Bryce going to do next? And I realized that based on his level, he's not able to cook for himself. He wouldn't be able to pay his bills if he had a home, and just to get himself around, make doctor's appointments. So Barry and I had to really sit down and think, what are we going to do for our son? So I reached out to Regional Center. They gave me a page where it was a list of adult residential facilities. So I called the very first one that was local, and I went to go view this home. I'll never forget that day. I went over to the house and I walked in. She explained her program and the services, but I remember walking through the door. And when I walked in, it was almost as if a gray cloud came over me because I didn't feel any life in the home. I didn't feel love in the home, and it was breaking my heart. And one of the guys that lives in the home, same age as Bryce, reminded me of my son, Bryce. And when he walked out, he was talking to the staff. And I just will never forget that moment. And when I left out of the home, I went to my car and I cried. And that was the day that I knew that I could continue looking, or I could step up to the plate and I could do something about it. So that experience and just my experience overall with Bryce really birthed the adult residential facilities, because I wanted to create an environment that my son would be able to live in, and alongside my son, an environment that other families, they can feel comfortable placing their child there, because you're placing your kid in a home where the owner of that particular facility actually has walked in their shoes.
Right. Oh, that is amazing. So, Jennifer, please share a little bit about the unique qualities and services your facility offers that make it a true home for residents with developmental disabilities.
So some of the services that we offer, there's 3 different homes. So the levels may change amongst the different homes that we have. So 2 of my facilities are considered level 4I, which is the higher level behavioral home. And my 3rd facility is our specialized home, which we'll talk about a little later. But with our behavioral homes, one of the things that we have to offer is we have to contract a board-certified behavioral analyst to come in. And what we do is we create a personalized plan, a behavioral plan for each individual in the home, because they're now moving into a residential facility. They're not used to structure. There's various different components that happen. So we offer behavioral therapy. We provide therapy. We make sure that they attend all of their medical appointments. We take them out for different community integrations. We get them registered into different day programs. So they're not in school anymore and they're not working. So they go to what's called a day program. And at that particular day program, they work on various things, whether it's preparing them for future employment, or they may just work on different life skills within there, or they could say, hey, I want to learn how to do interviewing for a job. So they'll work with their day program coach that day, and they'll go over different components like that.
Wow. You describe the typical profile of a resident at your facility, including, some of their specific needs and preferences?
Yes. So I'll give an example. Our typical clients, they are first time moving into a facility, and several of our clients, which would give a different outlook. 2 of our individuals that moved into our facility, they were homeless prior to moving in. So our average age moving in, I would say it would be about 25. We have both male and female, and it ranges all the way up to 54. And remember, this is their first time moving in. So a lot of them have issues depending on their disability with communication. So a few of our individuals are nonverbal. So our staff there, they have to be trained in sign language. We have to be trained to even learn their own language. So, although they may or may not know sign language when they move in. So we teach them different forms of communication so that way they're able to communicate their needs, and just it varies. So if they're autistic, or, some of our individuals have Down syndrome. So communication is a big key. We do sensory sensitivities with them, because a lot of them have sensory issues, across the board. So our facility provides a sensory friendly environment. Different routines and predictability. We have to individualize that per individual that's there. So that's why our person-centered plan is so important, because every individual is truly different when they move in. So there's not a one fits all look, because even their behaviors could vary. It could be from a low behavior all the way up to, in some cases we've had a television broken before, but we've worked on it. But just to show you the levels and the challenges that we've had with behaviors, which is why our staff being trained and having a behavioral analyst on site is so important.
Wow, I love that you have the proper staff and, attention to detail for tailoring very specific programs for each need of, the resident. It makes it that much more impactful. But please talk about the landscape of those with developmental disabilities and the demand for facilities like Rising Hill Developmental Homes.
Okay, so the landscape for individuals with developmental disabilities have evolved significantly over the years. And it's a growing emphasis on providing this person-centered care in all of the homes now, because prior to now, so we're in 2023, it wasn't a person-centered care. Everyone was just under one umbrella. And now we really focus on community integration, and there's a range of supportive services that are out there to enhance their quality of life. And so facilities like Rising Hill, we play a crucial role in addressing the needs of the population. So an example of the overview is that there was a huge shift. So prior to our facilities, where there's 4 individuals living there, our individuals were now living in a large facility where they were being taken care of almost in an institutional style, like institution living, So they moved away from that, which I'm very happy about. So because of that, there's a true increase in new developments of adult residential facility. And going back to the person-centered planning, it's so important because every individual is so different. And if I'm going to keep referencing Bryce, because I'm his mom, so I can talk about my own child, but even with someone like Bryce loves to make T-shirts, to design shirts. He loves to draw. He likes to help bake from scratch, like a cake, So knowing those different things about him as a mom, but if he was in my facility, I would do the same thing. I went and bought supplies so that way he's able to do that. So he'll make our T-shirts, he'll help us bake at home. And that's why person-centered planning is so important, because you have to know the unique needs of that individual. And we apply that across the board within our facilities. And another thing that's really important is the community integration piece. Mm-hmm. Now with our day programs and even in our residential facilities, our individuals are now being able to go out into the community, which is huge. They need to be out there. I take them to grocery stores. We'll go to Walmart, Target, and I'll assign different staff members. You take him over there and you guys go get rice and chicken. And so they have a little list and with pictures next to the list, and they'll go out and they go shopping for those particular items. But these are all things that they need. It teaches them life skills, and it also incorporates them into the community, so they just don't feel like they're living in a home. They're just constantly being taken care of. They feel as though we're a part of this. They help us make menus for the week based on the different foods that they like, And lastly is the family support. Some of our individuals are conserved, some are not. But the family still plays a very crucial part in their development and them living within our facility. And we just take in their input and we try to incorporate the families as much as we can. So that way they're able to still feel normal, like everything is still normal compared to the way that they used to have life with their families. And I'll go quickly, but just even with specialized care that we offer. So amongst our facilities, we have our drug and alcohol home. So we offer a specialized component there. And within Rising Hill 1 and 2, we have our behavioral components at those homes.
Wow. And so actually, I had the pleasure of meeting some of your residents at an Empire Strikers soccer game right at the Toyota Arena, which was remarkable. They were having a great time. They were out there with the staff, enjoying some snacks, watching the soccer game. They were engaged. They were having a great time. And, looking at them, it doesn't look like, they're part of, this institutionalized, clamped down gray cloud type of environment like you're talking about. You could see the life, the joy in their faces, and just that community integration part was, you could see it was beautiful to watch in action. So thank you for allowing me to witness that myself.
Absolutely. They loved it. They like being a part of it. And we try to incorporate them as much as we can, whether it's taking them to the Empire Strikers game or going to Knoxbury Forum. We just try to find different events so that way they just continue to feel a part of the community.
I love it. And so, Jennifer, can you please describe a particularly heartwarming or inspiring moment you've experienced while working with your residents at your facility?
Yes. So I have several. I could probably list one for every single resident in our home, but I'll narrow it down to just one for the sake of time. But there is one individual who he resided in one of our other facilities prior to me opening up the specialized facility this year. And very challenging behaviors. He didn't really have a direction for life. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And we were just trying to just show him a lot of love and support, show him that he has a chance to make it. He can still be successful. So we talked to him about different options, which were school and a job. So I was sharing different things with him. I would show him different resources online. And so he actually enrolled into a program in Los Angeles, and it's a job preparation program, but you have to go through it for 8 months and then you get a certificate at the end. So he actually went through the program twice. He did 2 different levels of it. He just recently graduated from the program 2 months ago. And I was completely happy. And one of the things that he told me, I asked him, what is it that you want to do? Now you're done. You actually graduated. His behaviors have decreased. He has a whole new vision and outlook on life now. And he said, I want to open up residential facilities like you. I want to help people. And of course it brought, I had tears in my eyes and I was like, oh my goodness, but I was so happy just to hear him say that. And like I tell anyone, I'm like, the sky is the limit. Whatever you believe that you can do, you're going to be able to do it. And he's on this path now. He just wants to help other individuals like him. And it really shows within the facility because they joke around with him and they call him the dad of the house because he's always trying to help some of the other residents. But it means a lot to me because it shows us that all the work that we've done with him and the love and the care and the support that we've provided him, it's showing because now he's taking what we've given him and he's pouring it out to other individuals within our facilities, which is similar to when we raise a child. They go and they grow up to do the same thing. So that's the one story that really touched my heart because sometimes we go through life day by day, especially when you have that helper, I'm just a helper. I just want to help everyone and help all my residents. And you don't really see a reward when you're running your own business. But moments like that with my residents, it makes me feel as though I'm actually doing something right.
Oh my goodness, that is phenomenal. I love that story. Please talk about the big picture in relation to those that have fallen through the cracks. You hear stories about how some of these individuals end up homeless or even worse, incarcerated. What does that look like?
So I've experienced it firsthand twice in our facility. And I think I'll speak from developmental disabilities lane, but I think it kind of carries over into both. I think that falling through the cracks and ending up homeless or, incarcerated, first of all, it breaks my heart because, like I said, I've seen it. But I think a lot of it stems from just a lack of the adequate support services that some of our individuals have. The 2 individuals that I'm speaking of that I personally encountered in my facilities, they grew up in foster care and they were placed from home to home. And now as an adult with this disability, they were placed into my home. And I feel as though, unfortunately, from their stories and what they tell me, this is the first time that they felt someone actually cared, and I feel as though if along the way with our children, our or young adults or individuals with disabilities, if we had the right services and supports in place, then it would help eliminate. I can't say that it would completely take it away because it's not a perfect world, but I think it would eliminate it, and it would decrease it would just decrease what's happening right now, because it seemed like it's such on a rise. And I just think we need to implement more services. Another thing I think is limited education and employment opportunities out there for them, right? So once they're done with high school, if they finish, or even trying to go get a job, a lot of times prior to now, where I feel as though there is an opportunity to have employment, but they also have to be educated on how to do it. How do you write a resume? How do I get a job? How can, even understanding basic finances of budgeting, so that way they know if they can afford it or not. Because I'll hear my residents tell me that they're moving to, especially one, this really cute story, but she's moving to the beach. And I told her, I said, if you move to the beach on the water, I would like to go with you. So, I want to go with her, but I like their dreams. It's just teaching them along the way, and I think family support's another one that's important. Just having affordable housing would be another good one for them, and just providing the right supports. And, the list could go on. I could go into healthcare disparities. There's so many different things, but I think that that's primarily what it is. It's just the lack of resources that we start with.
And so, what feedback do you get from parents or family members of those that you do have in your residential facilities?
So one of the things that a lot of the families say to me, they tell me that I'm a blessing in their life, because in some cases they may have tried living in a residential facility, and sometimes the families bring them back home, or in other cases, the parents have gotten older. And there is a stigma with adult residential facility because of what we were talking about before with these huge facilities where nothing's individualized. So people are afraid to place their child there. But like I tell them when they come in for that interview, I tell them that placing your child here is a blessing, the same way they tell me that I'm a blessing, because it gives them the opportunity to have in-house best friends. Because for me, having Bryce, 19 years old, he has one friend. And so it's very difficult. And his friend also has a developmental disability, but it's very difficult for them to engage all the time, because now he has to wait for my schedule or her mom's schedule in order to actually meet up and, engage with each other. But they tell me that they're very happy. I'm a blessing, and they see the growth in their child.
I love that. I love that. And so how do you and your team ensure that each resident feels value and truly a part of the community within your facility?
So I start back with the person-centered planning, because it starts off with just their name in the middle, and there's little bubbles just to make it nice and easy for my staff. And we find out all their likes and dislikes. So even if they're nonverbal, we find out from their parents, they may like spaghetti or pizza. We want them to have the same things that they would have at home. We want them to experience likes and dislikes the same way we do in our homes. Open communication. We have weekly meetings with our residents where they're able to tell us, they're super cute. They'll tell me, I don't like your blue shirt that you have on today. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'll wear something different. But they're able to share what they like, what they don't like, if they have any concerns. If they want to have pizza 2 days in a row, then they share their concerns with us, but we give them an open floor and we let them have it. We do inclusive activities with our residents. So we organize their activities and their outings that suits the individuals in the home. And going back to community integration, because that's just my thing. I like to take them out and keep them involved. We do a lot of peer support, like I was sharing with the individual at our other home. We try to rotate them within the house so everyone can feel as though they're the peer leader for that week. And they may say, this week, I want to take the trash out, or I'm going to get the mail, because once they do something one time, they want to keep doing it. So we had to get creative with that. So we try to do that with the peer support, and our staff with the cultural competency. It's just understanding who we're housing in our homes so that we're able to be, culturally sensitive. We're able to attend mass or go to church or have certain meals during certain times of the year or different activities, and we do regular family involvement. We have family days. And the reason why we incorporate family days now within our facilities is to get the families incorporated, because sometimes they get dropped off. You never really hear from them for a while. So we reach out to them to get them to come into our space for our different parties or whatever we're having, so that way they can come.
I love it. Wow, that is remarkable. Okay, Jennifer, we're coming up on a break, so everybody stick around. Yvette Walker here with ABC News and Talk Southern California Business Report with Jennifer Oglesby, and a Master's of Education, founder of Community Services of America and Rising Hill Developmental Homes, sharing an update on the importance of housing for adults with developmental disabilities while expanding on available programs and resources aimed at supporting families and communities when we return.
The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Hi, I'm San Bernardino County Sheriff Shannon Dykes. If you're looking to start an exciting career in law enforcement and make a difference in your community, we are hiring dispatchers, nurses, deputies, laterals, and many more. For a complete list of our jobs and more information, visit sheriffsjobs.com.
Ontario International Airport is on to a better way to fly with over 65 daily non-stop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit flyonto.com/Ontario to learn more about Ontario International Airport today.
Hi, Ray Lance from the Diamond Center in the Claremont Village here. One of the coolest parts of a third-generation family business is getting to know the families we serve through generations. Once you experience our friendly service, our fair and transparent pricing, and our beautiful jewelry that we make to last a lifetime, you'll stick with us too. Come visit us in the Claremont Village or at Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z, diamondcenter.com and see what makes us different.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only school of entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Hi, I'm Dana Rademacher with MGR Property Management.
A lot of people wonder about the value that property management has for their property. Property management can include all property types, including residential, commercial, and HOA. It is valuable because property managers are experienced in what can happen at your property. We're aware of liabilities. We're able to do predictive and preventative maintenance. We know what is coming up with the changes in the weather, the seasons, how old certain aspects or different capital projects at your property are. We're able to best negotiate contract pricing, legalities with your tenants, and anything else that you may need to ensure that you're getting the full value of your property.
If you're interested in speaking with the representative at MGR Property Management regarding your property management needs, you can visit our website at mgrrealestate.com, or you can call our number at area code 909-581-6600 to be connected with the representative.
Welcome back, everyone. Yvette Walker here with ABC News and Talk Southern California Business Report, here today with Jennifer Oglesby with a Master's in Education and founder of Community Service of America and Rising Hill Developmental Homes, sharing an update on the importance of housing for adults with developmental disabilities while expanding on available programs and resources aimed at supporting families and communities. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Jennifer.
Thank you so much for having me.
Beautiful. So prior to the break, you gave us an overview of what your facility does and how it's different and why it's so critical for today's communities. Jennifer, please talk a little bit about some of the ways you have seen residents grow, develop, or achieve personal milestones during their time at your facility.
Okay. So again, I have a wide variety of residents, but I will speak on one particular resident just to tell the story, and then I can expand on some of the other things like communication skills. But we have one young lady who I am extremely proud of. And she moved into our facility this year because we also have a specialized facility that works with individuals that are diagnosed with developmental disabilities and also struggle with substance abuse. So it was very, very difficult in the beginning when she moved in because of the access to resources in the community, access to going back out into the community, and working within our program, following the different outline that we had for her, having her attend our classes, giving her therapy. We've seen her literally go from being addicted to now being 3 months sober. She looks absolutely beautiful. She has a different outlook on life, and we're just continuing to foster that. So that's one of the newest developments for me. So I'm really extremely proud of her. And one of the things that we do for any of our residents with their milestones, and then I'll go back and speak of the other residents, but we reward every win. So no matter how big, no matter how small, every single month we celebrated her. And her thing was pizza. I'm on board with that because I love pizza. So every 30 days, we had a party at the facility with pizza because she met her goal. So in some of our other homes, we've had things like improved communication. Some of our nonverbal individuals didn't know how to tell us they wanted something as simple as just a cup of water, So we've taught them different ways to sign to us. So now when you got the water, we rewarded them. So then they wanted to learn more things because, everyone remembers the whole psychology of it. Right. The more you reward someone or you offer praise, the more they're going to do. So we try to see every good thing in all of our residents, every little stride that they have, we want to reward them along the way. So that way they just continue. And one of the things that I've noticed, because when our residents move in, they're coming from home. And I can speak to this because I have Bryce at home. So as a mom or a dad or a family member, you sometimes we overcompensate for that individual. So we start thinking for them. We start knowing by their actions what they want. So we're not giving them the opportunity to even express themselves. So when they come into the facility now I know we teach them all of those things. So they're coming into our home and the parents are like, what's happened here? I came and picked him up and he's telling me, can you go to McDonald's because I want a cheeseburger now? He's not having a fit because he didn't communicate it. He's now expressing it to me, so the increased independence is another one. We teach them that when we eat, they don't have to fully wash their dish or anything, but all of our residents, no matter what their intellectual ability is, they take their dish, they go put it in the sink. They'll, at night, they put their clothes in their hamper. They know when it's time to shower, they'll grab their towel, we have like a little caddy for them and all their supplies are there. So we're teaching them everything, even basic things of brushing their teeth. They're learning those skills. We do it with them every single day. We reward them, we notate it, and we just continue working on it, so they're learning social skills because we do different activities within the house. Every day we have an activity calendar. We're working on different things with their residents based on what they like. So we have one individual that loves to sing karaoke, and his favorite group is the Backstreet Boys. So we sing karaoke, we're fostering what they like. And it's teaching them how to socialize with each other, which now in turn, when they go out into the community, they're great at expressing themselves. They're great at, letting someone else know or participating. When they go out, they're not going to be shy to get up and sing karaoke at maybe a senior center when they're out there with their day programs. And one of the other things is their behavioral progress. We work on that every single day. And so although they're getting the support from our behavioral analyst that comes in, they also get the extra support from me because I'm just a test away, but almost there. And we just focus on it because once we help them with their behaviors that they struggled with, it helps them to have positive behavior out in the community, and they're able to integrate more and more, which is what we look for.
Oh, I love that. And giving them that confidence to know that they can take care of themselves with those basic life skills, right? And they're things that, we take for granted, taking your dish to the sink, having your table, putting your clothes in the hamper. But for, people with disabilities, that I can imagine the level of, encouragement and just everything that you do is remarkable. I can see why families say that you are a blessing because the confidence you're able to instill in them to integrate into the community is so critical and so beautiful. Jennifer, please share some success stories or anecdotes that illustrate the positive impact your facility has had on the lives of residents and their families.
Okay. So some of the success stories that we've had, again, there's several. I'll go back to the individual that I spoke of earlier, as far as, he went through school, he finished, and now he's on track for a job program. Speaking of the young lady who was fully addicted to a certain, she was addicted at one point, and now she is on track for recovery. She's moving into her sobriety, with just open arms, and she's looking forward to the success that's in her future. And with some of our other individuals, some of the success stories with them is that they're now able to express themselves. So, and I'm speaking of some of our nonverbal individuals, they're able to actually go out into the community, and even if they're pointing to an item on a menu, they're ordering when we go out to restaurants. They're able to go read the signs. They're standing in line there. And I'm speaking of us at Knoxberry Farm, but there's so many, all the successes to me, I could go on, but there's so many because our individuals truly come in and off of their person-centered plan. When we identify the certain targets that we're going to work on with that individual, we focus on it every single day. And when we focus on it, we're not focusing on it like, I want you to understand that this Sharpie is yellow. I'm not just, instilling it that way. We do it in an environment to where they understand that they're loved. And so it could just be something simple as, oh, let's watch a movie together, because I'm trying to teach him the skill of turning the television on with the remote. Let's watch a movie together, but I'll make sure to mention a movie that they may like, their favorite movie. So it will increase their likelihood to want to watch the movie with me. So I'm like, well, can you help me turn this on? I know that this is the power button, but can you press it for me? So then they do it. So that's day 1. By day 5, I don't have to ask him to press the power button. I'll just give him the remote. Then eventually he's going to have the remote in his hand and say, hey, do you want to watch a movie? Or if he's nonverbal, he may just say, point to the television and tell us he wants to watch a movie. But this is how we're having successes with them. And so even a remote story for me, as you can see, that's a success for me, because it's teaching them how to be independent, teaching them how to go to the refrigerator and get the snack that they like, teaching them when we go to the grocery store, pick up items that you want. And trust me, they will, because my basket's full, but they now know how to go to a grocery store and find items that they like because they've tested it. They can say, I don't like it. And, when they first move in, we'll give them something. If they don't like it, I always tell them, if you don't like it, it's okay to push it aside, because I won't have a way of knowing what you like. Sometimes I don't like certain things, I don't like mushrooms. So I may take those off of my food or burger, whatever it's on. And so we give them that opportunity to have, the opportunity to say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And it teaches them over time how to advocate for themselves. And that to me is a success. And I feel as though it's one of the things that we do at Rising Hill that it encourages them to be independent, express themselves. And we all know, in order to be an adult in our world, that's the main thing, right? It's like what you said, Yvette, you have to have confidence. You have to be able to communicate. You have to express your needs and wants. That's like number one, and advocate for things that you want, because when we voted this year for our passes, only one guy wanted Disneyland, but everyone else wanted to go to Knoxbury Farm. So he advocated because he was telling us all the stories about how, Mickey's there and this is what he's going to do for us, but we gave him that opportunity. You have the floor, advocate. And to me, that was also a success. You didn't win in getting Disneyland this year, but the way you expressed yourself, that was a win because you stood up and you advocated for yourself.
Absolutely. So in addition to being a residential facility, it sounds like a rehabilitation facility, right? To regain those basic life skills to allow your residents to be independent, truly, right? And even in a way that, as you mentioned, some of their family members don't recognize them after some length of time at your facility because they're not used to this side of them, right? The part that was maybe underdeveloped or overcompensated by their loved one or their parents. I absolutely love this, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing this. Okay. Jennifer, please talk about what life looks like for an adult with developmental disabilities in a facility like yours, and the one you run versus someone that is not.
Okay. So I can speak on, to show the comparison, I could include Bryce in this story, but I think I won't, because I feel as though, even though Bryce is not living in our facilities yet, but he will be in the near future, he still gets the same services and supports because I'm his mom at home with him. So typically for an individual living in a home, they're with their families. And like I mentioned before, there's not a lot of promoting them to be independent. That happens a lot of times at homes because sometimes it's easier. Imagine you just got off work. It's easier to sometimes go and just cook the meal, serve the meal, or stop at the grocery store on your way home than going home, picking up your child, taking them to the grocery store, asking them what it is that they want, taking them to the store to actually pick those items, coming back home, preparing that meal with them versus the facility. We sit down on Sundays, we have our meetings, we come up with individual meals. So at the facility, every resident can pick. So if they're nonverbal, we have a picture board that has items on there, and they're able to pick what it is that they want. Even when it comes down to sauces, maybe you want Alfredo, maybe you want, tomato sauce, whatever it is, you're able to pick your meal because you're in charge of it for that night. So I think within the facilities, it teaches them, and you get more of an environment where you're constantly learning. You're learning every single day because our individuals are helping. So if we're making, let's say, cornbread, someone may crack an egg, someone's going to stir, someone's going to pour the milk, put the oil, whatever it is that you're doing, everyone's going to have the opportunity to participate. Another thing that's key for facility living, and this is the reason why I'm choosing to even have my son Bryce move in, is because friends are everything, right? We need socialization. He sees his brothers. I have an 18-year-old son that just went away to college. So he's living in a dorm in Chicago. And I have Bryce still at home. Bryce doesn't have the same opportunity to go live on campus, in another state at a university. So living in a facility gives him the chance to have in-house best friends. It gives him the chance to gain independence. It gives him a chance to have services at his fingertips. It gives him the opportunity to just be so independent every single day to where eventually, if he decided, because everyone has their rights, if he decided that, hey, I know that there's DoorDash or other services to get food, I want to live on my own because Bryce has told me he's moving to Hollywood and he's going to have a guitar. So I told him, okay, so I have to help him find that. But whatever their goal is, I feel as though when they leave residential living, or especially leaving my facilities, they have a different sense of independence. They know what it takes to do certain things. They know now what it takes to prepare a meal, to clean a room. They come in, they help pour the detergent into, the laundry machine. They're helping with every single aspect if they're able to, based on their capabilities. So I just think that living within the facility, they're constantly learning, and you have the staff there. Like, we're at home, you're not having a behavioral analyst come in every single day to work with your child. You don't have other services. You don't have staff around the clock, 2 staff members per shift that's there to take them on outings and do different things based on what they want. Because sometimes as parents, I mean, I could speak for myself. Sometimes I was tired. I remember coming home from teaching, and I was tired when I got off work. So I wasn't able to teach for the 8 hours that I was at work and then come home and teach those same skills to my child, you know? So that's one of the things. And I'm not saying that it's bad. If you keep your child at home,
Right.
it's a good thing too, you know, but I'm just saying that sometimes it has its benefits of living within a facility. And one of the things that my reality is of why I even started the facilities is that I won't be around forever. And Bryce has to be taken care of. And I want to see where he's going to be, how he is thriving in that environment, no matter what facility he goes to, and that he'll be able to continue advocating for himself.
Wow, that is remarkable. Jennifer, please talk about how you envision the expansion of your facility contributing to the broader community and the lives of more individuals with developmental disabilities.
Okay, so I love this question. And I guess this is one of the times I would say that if I had a magic wand, I would definitely use it and open up 10 more facilities tomorrow. Reason being is because there are a ton of individuals that I want to service. And I know a lot of the individuals that I currently serve are through Regional Center. But I remember when I did a segment prior, a few years back, and I received an overwhelming number of phone calls. I heard stories from families. They weren't all Regional Center clients, but they were individuals that I wanted to help. So if I had, like I said, if I could close my eyes and make a wish, I would definitely open up 10 facilities, and I would just continue running off of the same vision that I have for them, the same drive that I have for my facilities, and I would continue opening them up under the same tone that I have now, you know. But since I don't have a magic wand, what my expansion plan in reality is my goal is to open up 1 facility a year. So that way I'm able to acquire a property, open them up, and I would love to offer more specialized facilities so that way I'm able to help them with their individual needs, having a disability, as well as struggling in another area. So that way we can continue just working with the individuals within our community. And one of the things outside of residential care, because a lot of times I always tell people that Bryce, he's really the CEO of Community Services of America, because everything that I develop moving forward, it's all stems from Bryce. Different experiences that I had as a mom and different things that I went through. And one of the things is when he was younger, trying to find services or finding a service, but now you had to drive here. I remember driving to Irvine. So I would go from Rancho Cucamonga to Irvine with Bryce. Yeah. And I have a development. I'm kind of putting things in place, but I want to open up a line to my facilities is a office space that will offer services for our individuals with developmental disabilities. So the parents don't have to drive to 3 different locations to get speech therapy, occupational therapy, or physical therapy. And that was one of the struggles that I remember talking to other families. And I always say one day, because I feel like, you know, I'm Oprah. I'm going to do everything, grant everyone's wishes, you know. But I had a dream that one day I would be able to continue walking along the line and creating resolutions. That's the thing. I want to create a resolution for the family. So I feel like I've checked the box with the residential facilities. And now I want to check the box with having a center that they don't have to go a ton of places for, and even incorporating their ABA therapy into that facility. So that way the parents can just come and they knock everything out, because some families, they don't have transportation.
Right.
So even with that in my head, I want to have vans so that way I can pick them up, bring them to their therapies, because I just want the kids to have an opportunity to be successful. Because a lot of times when parents lack the resources, their kids may suffer a little because they don't have the means to get to their therapies,
Right.
or to get to those resources, because they have other children, so we can have a daycare center there with the other kids, so that way their child can grow and continue receiving the services.
Beautiful. So basically like a center for children and adults with developmental disabilities with all of the integrated services. I absolutely love it. We're going to pray that it comes true. Quickly, Jennifer, how can individuals, organizations, and the community at large get involved and support your mission to provide loving homes for more adults? And what is the one thing you would like people to remember about your facility and the work that you do?
Okay. So I think that was twofold. So I think the first thing is, if they could help in the vision that I have, of course, it's through just volunteering. And I always say that because I want people to see it firsthand, and just donations. I rarely ask for that, but I'm on a drive to develop more. So I know that if I'm able to get the resources in, I can open up more facilities. And
Jennifer, please share the address and the website that people can reach out to send those donations. We're short and we're going to, yes.
Okay, no worries. So my email address, or the website, would be www.csoadp.com. Stands for Community Services of America Developmental Programs.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your work and for being an inspiration and a beacon of light for families of children with developmental disabilities. All right, everybody, don't forget to find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Check us out on scbrtalk.com. Again, our hearts are with Maui families. Business critical infrastructures have been devastated. District Governor Mark Merriam of Rotary District 5000 is appealing and coordinating efforts to help those in need. Please visit www.facebook.com/Rotary Clubs of Maui for more information and ways you can help. San Bernardino County will be conducting their annual State of the County tomorrow, Wednesday, September 27th, starting at 3 p.m. to include panel discussions with the main event and networking at Ontario Convention Center, located at 2000 East Convention Center Way at Ontario, California. Registration cost is $50. Visit selectsbcounty.com or call 909-387-4395 for more information. Are you a soccer player that's 18 and over? Mark your calendar. Weekend 2 for soccer tryouts to be a part of the Empire Strikers is here. Saturday, October 7th from 2 to 5 p.m. and Sunday, October 8th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tryout venue is Shui Family YMCA, located at 1150 East Foothill Boulevard in Upland, California. Tryout registration cost is $100. Visit theempirestrikers.com for more information. Don't miss my interview with Greg Bradbard, President of Hope Through Housing Foundation and National Corps' Senior Vice President of External Affairs. Next week, we will have Diane Abbott, President and Chief Executive Officer of Optima Healthcare Insurance Services. Ms. Abbott is responsible for the operations and management of Optima and California Health Insurance Company. Optima was formed in 1997 as an insurance brokerage and service company and is a wholly owned subsidiary of CHI. Everybody, you do not want to miss it. We will see you next week.